Hello, everybody. I thought I'd just pop on a live right now at 11:11. I find that 11:11 is a really great time to start setting some intentions. So I'm going to post this after I'm done recording the live. And whenever I look at the clock and it says 11:11, I just kind of feel comfortable and good. And just sort of like, I don't know, clear. And I make a little wish and I try to cram in as many wishes as I can within 1 minute. So I just kind of want to get everyone centered right now, and I'm going to pick a little oracle card for every astrological sign, in which we can kind of see what might help manifest your goal, whatever it is that you're wishing for right now, or what you might need to overcome or release right now, what might be blocking some of the things from coming to you. So I'm going to start with the astrological sign of Aries, and I'm going to end with Pisces. And we're just going to pick a little Greek oracle card. I wonder where, yes, I'm going to use the Mythic Oracle. I use these a lot every week. It's by Carissa Mulatto. I love this deck. And it's based on Greek mythology, so there's different archetypes from the Greek myths that I absolutely love. So let's start by just kind of getting centered and really just thinking about what it is that you really want in your life right now. Maybe it's time to take a nice deep breath and really ask yourself, what is it that's missing? What is it that you're trying to strive for? What might you need to release right now? Also, what is it that you're feeling divinely guided to go toward? And what I want you all to do right now is just get in touch with that wise center within you, that part of you that kind of looks at things with this wisdom, this separation, almost like through a lens or a pane of glass at your life. It has some separation, some distance from your fears and your hopes and your desires. And get in touch with that ancient wise being within you and ask them, what is it that I'm going to need right now? So let's start with Aries. We'll see what it is that Aries might need to manifest. And for Aries, we got Psyche. And Psyche in ancient Greek mythology, she is the personification for the breath. When Psyche comes up, she can say you need to breathe more for sure. But Psyche is who we get our word psychic from. And what she represents is the soul. And the ancient Greeks believed that the soul entered the body when it takes its first breath. It just kind of infuses it. And so this could be a time for Aries to really do some soul work. Also, this card says sacred union on the bottom of it, and it's because Psyche falls in love with Eros, the god of love. So this could be a time when you might be setting your intentions toward more harmonious relationships or soul connections with other people. It might also be a time when you're really getting clear on your own spirit and what you're needing to see reflected in the people that are around you. And whether you're in a love relationship or whether this is just a card of making those soul connections with other people that are useful in your life, I think for Aries, this is going to be an important time to open up, to be vulnerable, and to connect with your life force and your breath. To manifest what you want most, Aries, I almost feel like it's going to need cooperation. It's going to need some help. And Aries is an individualistic sign. You know, they don't usually need to have their hand held through everything. And yet I'm kind of feeling with this card that Aries is going to really manifest their best things by opening up, by being vulnerable and speaking to others and really just allowing them in. Next, we're going to go into the sign of Taurus, and we're just going to ask, what does Taurus need to manifest their goal, their wish on 11/11? Taurus, you got Uranus. He's the sky father. And the card actually says the father. When Uranus comes up, he represents that external world that can be a bit cold sometimes, especially if you're like a lot of spiritual people, you're sensitive, you really kind of get centered on your own heart, you feel everything so acutely. This card is saying that sometimes you have to leave the realm of the mother And you have to kind of go out in that cold world and face it and meet it where it's at. Sometimes Uranus can come out to just indicate that it's time to get real about something, or to look at something in a more kind of, almost like logical way instead of just on your intuition. To manifest your goal, this card is saying for Taurus, you're going to have to leave the comfort zone of where you feel most nurtured, most supported, and go out into something unfamiliar. And yet, what we do when we do that, when we are sensitive, spiritual, great people that, go out into that world, we make it better. We actually start to change that cold energy that's out there. We bring love to it. We start to kind of bring community. And so I think for Taurus, it's going to be so important that you're getting amongst them, that you're getting among people, that you're not just isolating and doing your thing in your own universe, but that you're really interacting with others and sharing your ideas. And I also feel like manifesting things and actually taking a shot on them and taking a risk and putting it out there and seeing what the response is. And whether or not it feels like it's this huge successful thing or not, the courage it takes to just put yourself out there is so huge. I just think that courage is going to be the name of the game for Taurus. So the missing thing, the thing that might help them really manifest what they're looking for, is to just go for it, is to really kind of put that intention out there and then let it go and stop trying to be perfect with it, but just let that be, let that speak for itself. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Gemini, and we're going to see what Gemini might need to manifest their greatest goals right now. Oh, and we got Apollo. Apollo is the god of light. He's the god of music, the sun, poetry. Apollo's the god of truth in ancient Greek mythology. And he's actually the patron of the Oracle of Delphi, who you can see behind me. She's on the tripod, the Pythia. So Apollo could be coming up to say that what Gemini needs right now is clarity, but it also might be a time when Gemini is using their multifaceted gifts to get where they want to go. Just like Apollo's like the god of all these different things, so too with Gemini as the twins, it's like they have their hands in all sorts of different things as well. And it might be a time when you're kind of making a conglomeration of your talents. You're really kind of pulling in all the different aspects of your personality to really shine. This could also be a time when you are really communicating in a more oracular way in your life, where you might be getting centered, you might be pulling a tarot card for yourself, or journaling more about that, or really going beyond just the surface and really dialoguing with that inner wisdom that we were connecting to at the beginning. To answer the question of the person, what are the cards? They're the Mythic Oracle. I put them in the beginning of the video, so you might have just joined. But that's the deck, and it's by Carissa Mulatto. But Apollo is just saying that you're also needing to set your sights on your target. He's called the far darter in ancient Greek mythology. He draws his bow and he sets his sight for the target and he never misses. So I feel like for Gemini, it's time to aim big. It's time to aim at something that might even be distant from you right now. It's time to pool all your talents together. And it might also be a time to dialogue with your inner wisdom or your intuition through divination or through some sort of practice that really gets you centered in order to achieve what you're looking for. And next we're going to go into the astrological sign of Cancer. And if anyone's joining and you missed your sign and you're like, I'm an Aries, what was the message? I'm going to post this on my feed after this, so you'll be able to go and rewatch it if you want to. But for Cancer, what they're going to need to really set their best intention, we get Hemera. She is the goddess of day. That's what her name means, day. And for Cancer, I think what you're needing to know is that you can always start again. Every day we get this opportunity. The sun rises and we can make a different choice. We can do something different or new. And whether you're a Cancer or not, this message can really go for all of us, that it's never hopeless. It's never like, oh, well, I'm just so stuck in this way of life the way it is and it can never be different. Life's a funny thing. So much can just happen in a year, and it all starts with an intention in one day. And so I feel for Cancer, it might be a time when they're shifting out of a pattern, something from the past, and they're really going toward the thing that creates a new beginning for them. I also feel for Cancer that this is just going to be a wonderful time of a new beginning. It might be a year that you're about to step into where you're creating new conditions for yourself. But there's a rebirth process going on for you where you're reinventing yourself. You're kind of dusting yourself off and getting back up again. But I just think that this is a great card for just stopping and realizing that things don't have to be the same way as they've always been just because the past has been like that. We have intentions, we have free will, we can make a different choice whenever we want to. And there is a comfort in that, but there's also a sense of like heavy responsibility too. So I just feel like you're needing to set those intentions toward what's the best life that you can have right now. You're only going to have the life you're having as the individual with the body you have and the brain you have and all that once. Our soul will go on. You know, we might even incarnate into something different later on. But what can you do to make this life the best one? What choice can you make on this day to really change the trajectory of where things have been going? Because you can do it. You could just make a different choice. It's as simple as that. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Leo, and we're going to ask what it is that they might want to set their intentions for 11/11. Oh, and we get Aphrodite, goddess of love. You know, Aphrodite is more than just a pretty face. She's a force of nature, and she represents the power of love and how it can just change things for people like magic. When you connect with the part of yourself that's loving, non-judgmental, not separating from others, but instead is accepting, taking people where they're at, but more important, taking yourself where you're at, not expecting perfection. Aphrodite's beautiful, but it's not, she's beautiful because she's perfect. She's beautiful because she knows she's beautiful. And so I kind of feel like for Leo, this is a time to be a little kinder to yourself. It might be a time to love yourself a little bit more. And when you give that love to yourself, it's so easy to give it to other people, to invite it into your life. You change the energy around you. If you're struggling with something too, Aphrodite could just say, it's so easy to shift the energy with just a little bit of charm, just a little bit of charisma, maybe smile a little bit more, maybe stop cursing the thing that's so frustrating right now and really align with the part of you that feels effervescent. And maybe it's time to put yourself in some clothes or colors that make you pop and make you feel really great or really boost that self-esteem. There's all sorts of ways you can love yourself. It's not just sitting in a room, or in a mirror and saying, I love you, I love you. It's really feeling a love for yourself. I find that to love yourself sometimes too, it's important to look at your own history. Maybe it's time to jot down 10 things that you've done in your life where you didn't quit and you kept going, and respect that part of yourself. Love can be born out of respect for oneself. So I think getting rid of the perfection and really just getting into the love is going to be really helpful. And also setting intentions for love, setting intentions to invite more loving energy into your life is really important when Aphrodite comes up. She's listening. And I think that if you're asking for what you want from Aphrodite, she'll give it to you. She actually likes that kind of effervescent energy. So I think that this is going to be a time to really open your heart to what you're desiring, especially when it comes to your environment, the sort of people that are in it. It's time to elevate. It's time to bring it to the next level for Leo. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Virgo and ask what they might need or might need to release in order to manifest their greatest goals. All right, Virgo. Thanatos. Okay, Thanatos is the archetype of death in the Greek mythology. And just like the death card, Thanatos is important. You know, we hate the death card. We get afraid of it. We think that that means that somehow we're going to end, or somehow something's coming to a close and it's going to be just terrible and it's going to represent this grief. But constantly in our lives, we're faced with moments, forks in the road, where we have to ask ourselves, is what I'm carrying on my back right now in service to where I want to go? Is this something that is actually helping me, or is it weighing me down? Is it time to let that part die? Is it time to release something? Death is about releasing. It's about accepting inevitable endings. And that's really hard for us, because we get attached. We like things the way they've always been. I feel for Virgo that your greatest goals and things you're trying to manifest this year are going to come when you make room for them. When you allow yourself to make space for that by letting go of the stuff that's filling your head that just isn't serving a purpose for you anymore. It might also be a time when you're making tough calls and you're really facing your own shadow and you're really asking yourself, is this going to be something that's going to be helpful to me later, or is it time to move on from it? Thanatos is always accompanied by that dream god as well, Hypnos. They're brothers, actually. This can also be an archetype for doing dream work. Paying attention to what your dreams are telling you. It might be a time to really ask yourself before you're sleeping for a message. What is it that I'm releasing? What is it that I'm trying to bring in? But I feel like there's a reinvention going on here for Virgo. And I also feel like there's a sense that you're letting go of something important to make room for something more. And so this is going to be a time to sort of hit the reset button. When I see the Death card or Thanatos, I think of like hitting reset. It's like, okay, let's flip the script. Let's get rid of the stuff that's cluttering our life. And now let's start to set intentions for what we're trying to manifest or create. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Libra. And we're going to just ask what they're going to need to invite in or release to manifest their greatest goals. Achilles. All right. Achilles is the greatest hero of the Trojan War, and he is born with a prophecy. He has a choice. He can have a long life and live, in obscurity and not do anything particularly great. He could be an old man and just kind of have the family and do the thing and, not a bad life. Or he can do something great. He can be immortal in his reputation, but he'll have a short life. And so Achilles will come up when there's a sense of urgency with what you're doing. And it's not to say, oh my God, you're going to die young, so you better get it done. But there is a sense of like seizing the day, carpe diem. There's a sense of like, there's a project in front of you, Libra, that you need to finish. You need to just get this done. There's a part of your life that you're trying to get going. And it's important that you're not like, yeah, I'll get to that, next year. It'll just happen. I'll just passively wait for this stuff. Achilles is about having an urgency, a sense of like, okay, it's time to get this going. This is also a great card for promoting yourself, expressing something that makes you shine. And knowing that your reputation is something that's very important, that this is going to be a year where you're really building, how do I want to be known? How do I want people to see me? What part of myself, what aspect of me do I want to bring out and allow other people to see? You really get to put your best foot forward. But I just get this sense of like, do it, when Achilles comes up, it's like, get that moving. And it's not in a morbid way, but there is a sense of like, we don't know what's going to happen next year. We don't know what life situation you're going to be confronting. So if you can do it today, do it today. Libra, I'm a Libra, by the way. And if there's one quality that I have that I don't really like about myself, it's that I can procrastinate like nobody's business. I can say, oh yeah, well and it's usually I'm procrastinating because something's making me anxious. It's like, if I actually do that thing, well then now I'm committed, and what if I screwed up, and what if it's not right? And I just kind of feel for Achilles, for all of us Libras here, and maybe even people who aren't Libras, maybe who have a lot of Libra in their chart, or just the message is resonating. It's like, just do it. Just get it started. Get to the table. Get to work on that thing. It's your time to make that happen. There's urgency here. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Scorpio on 11/11, very appropriate Scorpio time, and ask what they need to manifest their greatest goals. We got Themis. Themis represents the natural order of things. She is a goddess often associated with justice. She's often depicted with the scales. But what she really represents is balance. And she's twin sisters with another goddess called Nemesis, the goddess of divine retribution. And so there's a karmic kind of quality that comes up with Themis and Nemesis. Even the artist here has kind of depicted Themis as kind of half Themis, half Nemesis. She's a dual goddess. She's basically saying that this is going to be a time when you need to be really honest with yourself, Scorpio, and tell yourself the truth. What's going to bring in balance? What's going to bring in that natural order? It might also be a time when you're setting out your best energy for others. You might be cultivating good karma for yourself. You might be starting to invest in the things, other people or situations where you're not immediately getting a result from it. You're not getting something back from it, but you're putting out really good energy. And that is going to find its way back to you. What goes around comes around. Themis could say that it's time to bring balance to your life by being honest about it and being very clear with yourself about what it is that needs to change, what you might need to release, but also what you might need to start to invite in. But I just kind of feel like balance is the best way. Almost like the temperance card in the tarot. It's like nothing too much. You don't want to be excessive right now. Maybe Themis is saying with the scales, it's time to identify what's lopsided in your life. What scale basket you've been loading up with all of your intention and all your focus. And maybe that other scale basket is feeling neglected. Maybe it needs more investment. There might be a part of your life that feels like it's running on empty, and you need to set that intention and fill that part of yourself up again. A lot of people think, it's just automatically going to happen, but no one's usually going to stop and say, you really need to balance yourself by doing this, and here's this great advice for you. You're responsible for that. You need to know when you're burning out and when you need to give yourself back what you're needing. You're needing to be the one who gives yourself the greatest care. So I think with Themis, there's a sense of like identifying what's out of balance and creating that balance for yourself. A balanced mind, a balanced psyche, a spirit is way more in alignment with manifesting big things than someone who's out of balance, stressed out, frustrated, angry. All of that stuff blocks you. So I just kind of feel like it's time to find that equilibrium. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Sagittarius and just see what they might need to manifest their greatest goals. Oh, and we get Athena, my favorite goddess of all time. She's the goddess of wisdom. And Sagittarius, this is just a time for you where you have this deep inner wisdom and you need to tap into it. That inner voice that is kind of centered, it's calm, it's seeing everything with a sense of distance. I think that this is going to be a time when you really want to come up with strategy. Athena is the goddess of civilization, crafts, but she's also a goddess that's extremely intelligent and tactical. So I kind of think for Sagittarius, as we go into this next year, to set your greatest intentions, you're also needing to come up with a strategy. You might need a game plan. You might need a skeletal system of your goal. You might need to be like an artist who sketches in very rough, broad strokes right now before you get into the nitpicky little details that you're trying to fill in. I think it's time to think big when Athena comes up, but it's really important that you're quiet in your mind. My friend Nancy Retzloff, she died a long time ago, but she had a really great thing pinned to her dresser in the morning when she was getting ready. And it was, in order to enter the temple, you must be quiet. And I think what that means for us is, in order to dialogue with that inner wisdom, we got to get quiet in our brain. We got to get quiet in our breath and our mind. We got to listen to that wisdom. And if we're so stressed out and we're going in wheels and we're running here and running there and doing that and pushing for that, you're not really hearing Athena. You're not really hearing that wisdom part of yourself. So I just kind of feel like a quiet mind is going to be the best way to enter the temple for you, Sagittarius. And I think that you already know what you want. I think you can already see what your intention is. Just like the owl on the card who can see in the dark. It might feel like you're walking through the dark, but you kind of know what's there. It's time to fly toward your target. And it's time to just go for it and trust your wisdom. All right, now we're going to go into Capricorn and just ask them what they might need to set with their intentions to manifest their greatest goals in the upcoming year. We got Hermes, the messenger god. He is akin to Mercury in Roman mythology. And what he represents is communication. For Capricorn, this is a time to open up your mouth. The squeaky wheel gets the oil first. This isn't the time to just, drill down and get to work like Capricorns often do and just kind of push through. It's time to start to express what it is that you want. It's so interesting how easily some things can happen in your life when other people are aware of what you want. And if you're not getting what you want right now, Hermes could say, just open up your mouth about it. Just talk about it. This could also be a time when you are really feeling called to write, communicate, put something into words, or express yourself creatively. It's also a time when there's just a lot, I feel, that's getting thrown at you. You're going to have to multitask when Mercury comes up or Hermes comes up. And that's going to be something that you're kind of turning back to. But I just kind of feel for Capricorn that this is going to be a time for you when you are really just kind of setting your intentions through communicating as well. Letting other people know, hey, I have this ambition. I want this. Putting your cards on the table. Not being silent here, not ruminating about something, but instead really just going for it. And I just feel as well, there's like speed and commerce with Hermes. So there could be a time of like doing business or just launching a business idea or making something happen in the world by speeding it up a bit more. It could also be a time when you're on social media more or connecting with people who aren't just in your own city or whatever, but you're connecting with people who've got ideas from all over the place. And for all of you who are just joining and you're like, well, what about my sign? What was the card for this? I'm going to post this video on my page after I'm done filming it, so you can go back and skip to your sign and, go right to it. Unfortunately, as a reader, one of my greatest failings is I can never remember what I read for people. Even clients, they come to me and they say, well, remember when you said this and then that happened and then you said this? And I said, I did. I don't remember any of it. So about, 2 seconds after it comes out of my mouth, I don't remember what the heck I said. So I can't remember what everybody's card is. So good thing there's film or whatever this is recorded on. So now we're going to go into Aquarius and ask what they might need to set their intentions on 11/11 to manifest their greatest goal. And we got Odysseus. He's who we get our word Odyssey from. And I feel like for Aquarius, this is a time in your life where you're just on an Odyssey. You're just kind of on this quest. And it's all about the journey. I think this card even says, the journey. It's all about the journey for Aquarius right now. It's not about the destination. And I don't mean to make that sound like some cliche coffee cup or something like that, but really, your moment right now is where the lesson is. It isn't on the manifestation of something that you're trying to create. It's on the moment right now. It's in what you're interacting with right now. That's where the lesson is. Odysseus is on that 20-year journey to find his way back home. And that's a symbol too. Myths, they're about symbols. Home is a symbol for our heart, ourself, and the journey we're all on to come back to who we authentically really are. And it's the journey that's so important. It's all the, highs and lows on that mythic journey, the hero's journey, that really helps us identify who we really are. And it's just like the major arcana in the tarot, where the Fool is going through all the different steps of the major arcana, through the Magician, through all the nice, warm, cuddly cards like the Empress and the Lovers and, the Chariot and winning and victory. But then also the hero has to go through the realm of the underworld. He's got to sacrifice with the Hangman. He's got to release or allow things to die with the Death card and go through the underworld. He has to face his shadow, his saboteur with the Devil card. And he has to have a complete breakdown of his old psyche, his old way things were established in order to come out the other side to the hope of the star. And so I'm kind of feeling for Aquarius, don't be in such a hurry. Aquarius is the future thinker. They always see things before they happen. They're visionaries. They look at their life a lot of times and they're like, why is it not right? Because I can see where I need to be. I can see what's going to happen, but why is it not that way now? And it's because you're seeing the future. You're not there yet. And it's important that you are here, you're present in this moment, because that's where the journey is. And know that that future vision is going to manifest. Destiny is destiny, as Maria Callas, the opera singer, used to say. What that means is what you're going to be destined to be in your greatest expression of yourself. There's a lot of different roads you can take to get there. And one way or the other, you're going to get there. You just need to stop fretting about it so much and enjoy the lessons being learned right now. And sometimes not even enjoy them, but just absorb them when we see Odysseus, because you're just on that quest to really get back in touch with that authentic self. All right. And then finally, we're going to go into Pisces and just ask, well, what do they need to focus on to manifest their greatest intentions? Oh, and we got Eros. We talked about him earlier when we had Psyche come up. She is the wife of Eros. They fall in love. They're soulmates. Eros is the god of desire. He's also the god of sexual desire, passion. But what he can also indicate is having passion in your life, Pisces. This might be a time to identify if there's any sort of like dead weight in your spirit or in your life where it's just feeling like, I'm just not passionate. I don't feel that fire anymore. Eros is a fiery god. He hits you with the dart of love. And this might be a time when, even if you're not looking for a relationship, where you're really falling in love with something in your life. Maybe if you're feeling hopeless because things have just been the same way and you've just been doing things so similarly, it might be a time to remember a younger version of yourself that was so passionate about something, felt so powerful, so sure of yourself. What was that person really excited about doing? Maybe it's time to start incorporating just a little bit of time, a sliver of time in your day where you would devote it to your passion, the thing that you enjoy. So life has a little bit of color and flavor. It's like a spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down. We all got to take our medicine, but sometimes it's important to give ourselves a little bit of sweetness too. So I feel with Eros for Pisces, for you to manifest your greatest desires, you need to have passion. You need to be passionate about what you're doing. You need to feel like you're alive and that you're engaged in something in your life that feels exciting. It feels electric. That's going to really help you manifest what you're looking for. And it might also just be a time to really not neglect the needs of your physical body. If you've been living in your head too much, it might be a time where you're realizing there are sensations going on below your neck too, and you need to key into them. You might need to get in touch with your heart center. You might need to do some work on your physical body. But it's time to be in your body when Eros comes up and to honor it as the temple it is. And that's my message for all the astrological signs. And if you missed your sign again, I'm going to post about that. Thank you all for commenting. Oh, I really appreciate those nice compliments. And for all of you who've read my books and are writing about that, that really means so much to me. It does support my work. It gets it out there more. If you're looking for more tarot content too, and you're not seeing me on Instagram as much as you'd like, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to that. It's Elliot Oracle, just like my Instagram channel, and that's been growing quite a bit. But I put up, dailies every day, but I also put up a monthly astrological tarot scope for every month. So if you like this whole astrological sign and what's your message, go onto my YouTube. I have a video for November already posted. I go through Aries and with Pisces, go through every sign, and I pick 2 cards on what might be coming up for the month and what you might need to put your focus on. And for all of you who say lovely things like, you're such a beautiful soul, and I appreciate you, I'm a mirror. I'm just holding up what's beautiful in you. And if you can see something in a message or in life or in the world that's something you're resonating with, that's because you have that in common. And so anyone who's liking what I do, it's because we're kindred spirits. We got that in common. I'm just doing the mirror thing, and I'm looking at the sacred in you too, because you have something important to say. And so I appreciate all of you. Oh, I just saw Karen pop in. Nice to see you, Karen. And I will post this video right after I get off of this. And so happy 11/11 to everybody. Make a wish. I hope you all have a great next month, and I'll talk to you soon again. Blessings to you.